The broadcasters and the Ad Council.
You're now back in the booth with Big Man and Jay Lee on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Yes, sir. Now, Jay,
what's up, baby?
I think you can introduce our boy better than I can.
I do my best, man.
Because dang it, you work with the man.
I did.
You work with the man.
I did.
And so go ahead.
We got my main man, not just my man, my main man. Rich Kid's Own.
Okay.
Rich Kid's Own.
I hear you.
You heard him on the Unbreakable remix.
Okay.
You heard him on Easy Like Sunday Morning remix, which was an original mix that he mixed and remixed and mixed the to read the mix.
Okay, I hear you. I see you. What's going on with it?
Binks approved.
Oh, damn.
Fleece Johnson.
All right.
Affiliated.
Okay.
Be Easy 5.
Uh-huh.
Brandon Wright.
I was just saying that when you look at the draft, and they had, two high picks. They had two lottery picks, basically. They had the number 3 and they had the number 11 or 12, I believe. And they got Kantner and they got Alec Burks, who somehow I realized there was only 3 shooting guards in this this draft, and they got one of them. And what did we say that they probably needed the most? They needed perimeter scoring, and they probably needed the center, and they got both. So that's why I feel they did a great job, and 2 good players.
I'll tell you one thing about Utah under this Kevin O'Connor, under his regimen. He's done an awful job of drafting. Other than Darren Williams, and they found Wesley Matthews last year.
And then they
Kirk Snyder,
let him go.
Morris Allman, like they have a bad track record of drafting. Like they Felacinco,
right?
Like they draft these guys and they just don't turn out to be anything. And Utah just can't seem to find a perimeter player. C.J. Miles, like their best guy that they drafted so far on the wing was Wesley Matthews, and they ended up letting him leave as a free agent last year.
I mean, it seems like it's almost like a plug. They feel that they can just plug and play.
Well, under Jerry Sloan, they felt like they can do that. And you got Ty Corbin, who was a Jerry Sloan assistant, who's running a similar system.
And I don't know. They don't have Darren Williams running the point anymore.
Yeah.
Stockton in the Hall of Fame. Malone's not there. Carlos Boozer's gone. So what is their plan? What do you think the Utah Jazz need to do to continue on with this draft?
It's very similar to Minnesota. You have Al Jefferson, you have Derek Favors, you have Paul Millsap, you now have Enes Kanter, you have Mehmet Okur. Somebody's got to go. And they got the guy last year. Jeremy Evans played really well for him coming off the bench at the power forward position. You can't trot out a team of 5 power forwards.
Are you sure?
Somebody's got to handle the ball. Somebody's got to handle the ball.
I think Millsap can pull that off.
He probably could. Same thing as Minnesota. You have to pick 2, and then you have to let the rest of them go.
What 2?
It's got to be Derek Favors and it's got to be Cantor.
I feel bad because I am one, and I've said it before. Derek Favors is a bum to me. I think he's gonna be a scrub.
But like I told you, you can sell hope or you can sell championship. You traded Darren Williams for Derek Favors to sell your team on the hope that he can develop into the next Dwight Howard. So he's not going anywhere because if you give him up, you're basically saying we gave up Darren Williams for absolutely nothing. Millsap, Jefferson have to go. That's the politics of the game. You have 2 young big guys. You have to put them out there. You have to see what they can do. You put them out there with Gordon Hayward. You put them out there with Alex Burke. And you put them out there with Devin Harris. Now you have your 5 that you have to go forward with. You have to see what you have in Devin Harris for the next 2 years before that contract is up.
So, see, personally, I don't think I could give up. Because the lineup you just trotted out there was Devin Harris and like 4 extremely young guys.
That's the lineup you have to go with. Like you have to justify these lottery picks and this trade that you made for Darren Williams. You put the young guys out there, and you have to be bad and let them learn from their mistakes and become good. You have to put them out there and let them grow together.
Can Ty Corbin do this?
He doesn't have a choice. This is the thing, man. This is the thing. You have a young coach,
right?
Young players.
Yeah.
Cream rises to the top. You have to weed out the crap. If Ty Corbin cannot get it done, you need to put him out there and let him coach to see if he can get it done.
Right.
And then if he can't, you move on. And if he moves on, the general manager's going to fire him to save his job.
Well, of course, that's the way.
That's the way of the world. That's the way of the world.
The way this bad boy works. I want to move on to the legend that is Michael Jordan.
Gotcha.
Okay, Mike, as we all know, has a terrible history when it comes to the draft.
You're not respecting Kwame Brown and Adam Morrison?
Not so much. Biscat Biombo, who had probably the most awkward interview I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yes, that I've ever seen.
Should have had ESPN should have had an on-site translator for everybody that they drafted. The only guy I understood was Kyrie Irving. And he was the typical, as Jalen Rose says, he was the typical Uncle Tom Duke player.
Wow.
I'm not taking a shot. I'm just saying, when I listened to Kyrie Irving talk,
right.
I said, this is the exact Uncle Tom that Jalen Rose was talking about.
Right.
Like, that's what he meant. He's a well-spoken for African-American male who some people, ignorant people,
right,
would say he's an Uncle Tom.
Right.
So when I heard Kyrie Irving talk, I said, yeah, he would go to Duke. You can see why he went to Duke. He can pronounce his words. He put together a complete sentence. His mom and his stepfather were both there. I think his real dad passed away, correct?
Mm-hmm. Right, I think so.
So we had a 2-parent household. He hugged mom, he hugged dad, and he had a nice regular suit on. It was like navy blue. It wasn't ignorant. 9 buttons, low, clean cut. I was like, Kyrie Irving, you, other than your name, you are Duke approved. You would say you was almost there until we got Kyrie. He was almost not hood.
Let's go back to the Bobcats.
Gotcha.
Because it seems like Mike has traded everybody. They got rid of everybody.
He had to.
And I like to call this a clean slate. He basically just said, you know what? Rich Cho, who he brought in from, where did he come? He come from?
He was a Portland GM for 1 season.
Okay. He brought him in, and he's like, I just wiped this slate clean.
Well, he
have fun with it.
He had to, because Mike was kind of stuck in that we're competing for the 8 seed.
And he does not want to compete for, and he made it known, I'm not trying to compete for an 8 seed.
Or we're going to be the 10 seed. We're not going to get a high enough draft pick to where we can get better, and we're not going to be good enough to where we can compete for a championship. So you're stuck in that range that you don't want to be in. Once again, I hearken back.
Hearken?
Hope, championship. When you were the Bobcats, you were in the middle.
You have nothing.
Doing nothing. With Steven Jackson, Gerald Wallace, Najee Muhammad was on that team, Okafor. Like, you have to gut the franchise, and you have to take a loss. You have to sacrifice 2-3 seasons. You have to. You just have to. And that's what they're in the process of doing now. Kemba Walker they got to pair with DJ Augustine to be the shortest backcourt in the history of backcourts. Bismarck Biombo. I'll put it like this, man. Best case scenario, he turns into Okafor.
How about Ben Wallace? Well, that's way out there, isn't it?
Well, no. Ben Wallace is. Listen, Ben Wallace was a nice defensive player for that Detroit Pistons system. I saw him come to Chicago, and
He was old though.
He was old, but I mean, for what he does, that's not. I mean, that's not really something. I don't take that as a compliment.
That he's old or that
Like,
he's a defensive stalwart.
The Ben Wallace defensive mystique is just so full of crap to me, man. I just think, like, I've never seen him shut anybody down. He was an undersized center,
right?
That, like, he played well in that system. Rasheed Wallace should get more love for the defense he played. And then you have a long Tayshaun Prince out there,
right? What do you think the Bobcats are going in the right direction though?
No, there's no future superstar on that team.
I mean, but they couldn't get out of this draft.
I know they couldn't get out of this draft, but no, they're not going in the right direction. I mean, unless the direction is down. But
right.
but you have nobody that you can sell hope with on this team.
Brandon, MJ. I think Rick Bucher said it. He said that he thinks Mike is trying to look into guys' souls to see that fire that he had. That's what it is. I'm looking for the fire. And if you have that fire, I'm drafting you. Adam Morrison, he cried, I'm drafting you because he loves the game. Guess what? It ain't about that. Do you have the skill?
Well, no, you have to have that fire. But you also have to have the elite athletic ability and the elite basketball talent. And right now, there's maybe 2 or 3 guys in the league like that: Kobe, Wade, Derrick Rose,
and that's it.
That's it. That's the list. That's the list of elite athletic ability, basketball ability, and that desire to just be the best and want to kill you. Those are the only 3.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Bulls, and
that just
we'll see.
I do.
We'll be back. It's a Booth with Big Man and Jay Lee.
Chicagoland Sportsradio.com.
Gruff the crime dog here. Let's hear from an identity thief.